First and foremost, I want to say, Call Halal Yahweh, by Hashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. That's all praises to the Most High God Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. It's your brother here, Kwame Allah, out of HOI, North Carolina. And I'm here with my brother, Yaquab, out of HOI, Atlanta, coming back with you with another quick cut. Today, we're going to be diving into Deuteronomy 23 and 7. A lot of people run to this verse, a lot of Christians, a lot of Israelite Christians, they run to this verse saying that it means you can't hate an Edomite. So we're going to prove today that not only they're taking that verse out of context and it has nothing to do with hating the Edomite at all, and we're going to prove some other things as well. We're going to clear up a lot of misunderstandings today. All right, so let's get started in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 7.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 7. Mm-hmm. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother.
Right.
Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou was a stranger in his land.
So they run to this verse and say, see, you can't abhor an Edomite. That means you can't hate them. Well, the word abhor in the English sense will say something having to deal with to hate. But this is a Hebrew word that was transliterated into English. So you can't use the English definition. So we're going to go into the root word in the Hebrew and find out what the definition of abhor means. Bring it up.
This is Strong's H8581. Ta'ah.
Ta'ah.
To abhor, be abominable, do abominably.
To do abominably.
To be abhorred, be detested.
Detested.
In the ritual sense.
In the what?
In the ritual sense.
In the ritual sense.
To loathe, abhor, regard as an abomination.
To regard as an abomination.
In the ritual sense.
In the what?
In the ritual sense.
In the ritual sense.
To make abominable, do abominably. In the ritual sense.
All of this, to detest, to do abominably. All of this is relating to the ritual sense. It's not dealing with feelings or cursing or treating someone badly. It's talking about in a ritual sense. So let's get further edification on that. We're going to go back to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 23, and we're going to start from the top this time. Let's see what the context is.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 23 verse 1. He that is wounded in the stones or hath his privy member cut off shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord.
All right. So it's dealing with entering into the congregation of the Lord. Now, someone who's wounded in their private parts, a male, or he cut his private parts off, cannot enter into the congregation of the Lord. Now, a lot of people see that phrase, congregation of the Lord, and feel like that relates to living amongst Israel. It has nothing to do with living amongst Israel. We've had many different heathens living amongst Israel. So that's not dealing with entering into the congregation of the Lord. Let's see what entering into the congregation of the Lord really means. Let's get the book of Lamentations, chapter 1, verse 10.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 1, and verse 10. The adversary hath spread out his hand upon all her pleasant things. For she hath seen that the heathen entered into her sanctuary, whom thou didst command that they should not enter into thy congregation.
So, what it's talking about is entering into the temple. Read that last part again.
Whom thou didst command that they should not enter into thy congregation.
They said that the heathen or our adversary went into our temple and had hold of all of our pleasant things. And it said, the Lord said they should not enter into the congregation. So to enter into the congregation is equated to entering into the temple. So what do we do in our temple? When heathens or anyone else go to the temple, they go to give sacrifice. So this is dealing with not abhorring their sacrifices. We can't treat their sacrifices like it's an abomination. But let's get further edification on that, just to prove that the context ain't changed dealing with verse 7. Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 23 and verse 7. And we're going to read 8, Salakia.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 7. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite.
Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite.
For he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian.
Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian.
Because thou wast a stranger in his land.
So we can't abhor them. But what does it mean to abhor them? Read verse 8.
Verse 8. The children that are begotten of them shall enter into the congregation of the Lord in their third generation.
So we're still dealing with entering into the congregation of the Lord. I've already proven that that has nothing to do with living amongst us, but it's dealing with coming to the temple to give sacrifice. So in their third generation, that's when an Edomite can come give a sacrifice. We will not detest that sacrifice. We will not treat it like it's an abomination. That's all it's dealing with. So I hope y'all was edified in the spirit. Once again, it's your boy Kwamwala, brother Yaquab, HOI. I want to say shalom.
Shalom.